Welcome back to the BADDEST YouTube channel. Guys, it's Camaro day. All right, we're trying to wrap this project up. Our buddy Kylie's hounding us. He wants her back. So, we got to grab a couple pieces from the local junkyard. Got to get ourselves a gas pedal assembly because, you know, the one that was in it ain't going to work. So, I brought my helper along with me, Gavin, and we're driving the old burnout truck. So, let's see at the end. See what she'll do. Probably wasn't the best for those new tires, but we had to try them out, you know. But yeah, we're just getting to the yard now. Hold on a second. You never know what you're gonna find here. I love this place. If you guys are in the northern Michigan, West Branch-ish area, make sure you stop out here. These guys got everything. It's still an old school yard, guys. Wayne's got all kinds of good stuff. Oh yeah, we got a nice local haul. What do we get? Got ourselves a nice K&N air intake and a throttle cable. Pulled that out of a 98 OBS truck, kind of like that beauty right there. It's gonna work out nice. I actually checked this out. It ain't meant for what it was, but it's gonna work good. That's gonna give us kind of the right angle around our alternator. Put a nice cone off the end. It's gonna be sweet. And we got ourselves a throttle cable, no pedal. Unfortunately, all them 68s are mechanical linkage, kind of like the other, well, like the truck we have, or car we have. So, back to the house we go. Well, we made it back from the junkyard. It's time to get something done, all right? So, I did get a couple packages and I want to show you real fast. First off, you're wondering about the exhaust, right? You're like, man, we got to get this thing done. Obviously, we got ourselves an air intake, and I did throw that on too real quick. I know, I didn't record it, but I'll show you real fast what that intake we found at Wolverton's turned into. So, nice. Pre-molded plastic. Little silicone boot. I just cut off that, you know, the knob there, and that's our new intake air temp. We got a, you know, minty fresh, brand new K&N air filter on there. So, I know it's not cold air intake. I know. Lash me in the comments. It is going to get enough direct airflow where I don't see it being an issue. Now, Rusty's going to tune this thing here soon, and hopefully, you might see it in a video of us dropping this off, because guess what? The S10's coming home when this thing heads down to his shop. So, I'm pretty excited about that too. But I also threw on a 16-inch electric fan. I know, we lost the fan shroud with all the cool vintage stickers. Now, I'm saving that for those guys because they like that kind of stuff. It could be a good wall hanger, right? Just not here. Also, universal coolant reservoir. I did order one of them and put one of them on as well. Believe it or not, I think I threw it away. I don't know if it's still around here. But they had a, it was like a, it wasn't my buddy that did it. It was the previous guy, but it had like a goofy water jug, almost maybe like a, I don't know, orange juice bottle, but that's not an nightmare. We put a nice overflow tank. So that right there is, for the most part, the finished product. You're gonna see me here in a few minutes. We're gonna cut the hell out of this hood. I'm pretty nervous about it. Now, he was not opposed to buying a new hood. He is gonna wrap this car. That is the future plan. They're gonna actually wrap this thing because there is some rust. It's not perfect. We know that. Plus all the questionable body work. So they want to do something creative like that, which I thought was an awesome idea. So he's not opposed to a new hood, but we do have a large cowl. So technically I could cut up all the way into here, which, you know, that gives me a lot of room. The problem I'm running into is our opening that was for that 14-inch air cleaner. I need to end up about here. So we're going to do that together as well. But let's show you what I got. So obviously you've seen we didn't get a gas pedal, and I overnighted one after I left Wayne's. So hopefully by the end of the video, you'll see the gas pedal show up too, because it has to leave and get done today. Well, this video. So look what we got here. You know what that is, don't you? Oh yeah, freaking cutouts. Hell yeah. I was so excited when he mentioned that I kind of want it louder, but also it could be quiet for his wife. I respect that. So we got a nice set of electric cutouts. These are the disc style. If you guys ever buy cutouts, this is the way to freaking go. And there's a reason. You ever the ones with the old flaps, they always leak, they sound like shit, and we don't want to deal with that. So we got a whole kit. I don't even know what brand it is. There's part number DEC 250AK. I don't know. Made in CN. So it's either Canada or China. But whatever. So you seen our throttle cable. That's obviously off a truck. We're gonna modify our gas pedal when we get that. And then this here. So I got these in. These are some eBay special. And actually did a really nice job. So these are see if I can find a link or whatever. If you just look on eBay and look up LS3 flanges, 2.5 for your Camaro or Corvette, or your 68 Camaro with manifolds on it from an LS3. These are a 2.5-inch stainless, and they are thick. These things are 1/2 inch thick, guys. I know. And OEM gaskets. So the benefit is they cut in a recess. If you can see it, there's a recess in there to fit the gasket. It's gonna work perfect. So we have some nice flanges. We have our cutouts. We have some pipe over in the corner somewhere over there. So now you ask yourself, what are we doing with the mufflers? Gone, getting rid of them. Kylie's like, I agree with you, cut them sons of bitches off. It'd be a little bit louder on the outside. Still not crazy hot, right? Because they don't want to burn their legs, I respect that. And she's gonna be loud with the push of a button. Pretty freaking cool. So let's get this thing in the air. We start accessing the exhaust, and then hopefully the gas pedal shows up here soon, because that overnight shipping was not cheap. Let me tell you that. So, something I wanted to show you real fast, just a little closure on our clutch deal. We did get it adjusted and it is working great. So basically, at the end of the day, I mentioned in the last video, I bent this out of the way for our manifold clearance, flipped the rod to the other side, and we have just the right amount of preload. So, and that factory spring's hooked up. So I watched a YouTube video, of course, you know, that's because that's what we do around here, right? And the gentleman said, you obviously want a little bit of almost free play. So you don't want the actual release bearing to ride on the fingers of the pressure plate. Not good. Premature failure, right? So, and you also want about 1 inch of pedal travel before you actually apply pressure to the pressure plate, right? Makes sense. So that's all adjusted. But one of the more satisfying things is getting rid of these mufflers. Out with the old, in with the new. So basically, I'm gonna try to save as much as I can for now, because I'm not sure what we're gonna need. So obviously, we're gonna get rid of these clamps here, see if we can just knock this forward, because at that point, we're gonna have to get, you know, make room for our cutout there. Okay, it's not wanting to listen. We're just gonna cut it out of the way. Let's try that again with a new battery. Now the idea is to not get hit in the head with this other side. Wish me luck. Don't need this anymore, we're going. So I feel like we got plenty of room for activities. Now what I was wondering is, what's my best way to start? Normally you start front to back, right? We're gonna go from our new flanges down to there, right? But now we gotta put cutouts in. Okay, so let's grab it and find out. So this is 2.5, and that's 2 1/4. I know. That's what we're gonna deal with though. That's all we got. So now the drive shaft is obviously not gonna come down further, but we don't want our exhaust dragging the ground. So I'm trying to decipher where the cutouts can actually go. That's the dilemma. So let's figure it out. So first things first, ideally we want to find a position that's going to work best for these. So yeah, I'm thinking I don't know yet, because these are pretty high and these are pretty freaking big. So yeah, I'm almost wondering if we can go further up maybe. You know, say we put them, you know, like right here, something up by the transmission. That's an idea. Nobody says we have to go right there, because that is a lot to try hiding under here. But again, the drive shaft is not going to come down any further, so we ain't got to worry about it. But we also don't want the heat coming out of this blowing all over something important, you know what I mean? So yeah, because she's going to a car show here Well, when you see this video, it'll be next Saturday. She'll be out in, at the Algeria Car Show. Car Cruise. And show probably, I guess, but yeah. So I think our final decision's gonna be like right here. Something in that nature, because that'll give us enough pipe right here. We need about, you know, for our O2 sensor to end up, let's say here. We want enough that the O2 sensor is properly working, because you need about 18 inches after your O2 sensor. So we want to make sure we have enough of that with the cutouts too. So I think that our best bet, like I said, is going to end up being that. Now we'll blow exhaust near the drive shaft, but it really shouldn't matter because we're not at the U-joint. So realistically, if it dumps out here, what's it really going to affect, you know? Let's try out these flanges. So the biggest thing is we want to, I was going to start from the back and move my way forward, but I think at this point here where the cutout is going to be in a newer position up more forward, maybe we should start here. Of course, we're going to do the easy side first, because why wouldn't you? So one of the reasons why I bought these, so normally these are factory at like 2 1/4, but these flanges here are 2 1/2. Look at that. So what's nice is we're going to be able to stick that in there.
That's what she said.
And give her a couple tacks. So I ran over to a buddy's shop with a pipe bender. I figured it'd be a little easier. So I had a couple 90s bent in some 2 1/2 inch pipe. So I had these from my buddy Bill's LS swap a while back. I bought one of them Speedway Motors exhaust kits, right? Mandrel kit. We know Mandrel's better. We know it's good, but for what we're doing, I think this will be just fine. The problem I was gonna have with this is there isn't enough leg right here. You know what I'm saying? So kind of get the idea of what we needed. We need a little extra length this way. So rather than trying to piece together 17 different pipes, by doing that, I mean, realistically, it should, you know what I'm saying? And then we could just pop our cutout on, and then it's pretty straightforward. So let's show you what I mean here. So let me just put this in there. And obviously we got to cut this neck down here, but that fits up in there just fine, right? You can kind of see where we're going with. Now, obviously, we're going to cut that down to like, I don't know, say there. And that's going to be about a straight freaking shot. So, I mean, realistically, this car, as long as we keep it right about the frame rail height, it'll never bottom out. I mean, have you seen this chin splitter on the front? That's going to hit way first before the exhaust does. So, let's go ahead and chop these down and see if we can make that fit a little better. Get your trusty Win porta band. And I kind of eyeballed it, and we just got to be in this straight section somewhere here so the flange fits. So let's leave a little extra meat on the bone. Guys, if you don't have a porta band, you need to get one. I love that thing. I know it's a $100 Chinesium one. I know, you can't go wrong with that. Works freaking phenomenal. And honestly, it cuts the pipe really fast. We'll see if it fits. Let's see what we got here. That is not looking too bad. And that is about a straight freaking shot, guys. Looking pretty decent. Let me go ahead and finagle. Let's just kind of fine tune this a little bit and see if we can get a tack weld on that. So I didn't tack weld it yet, but I wanted to show you something what I was thinking about. So I gotta see how far this car really is from the ground, because look at that. I mean, that's pretty straight shot, 90 degree, 2 1/2 back. It'll hook back into our, whatever you call that. But what do you think about that? I know it's hanging down. Now this is 2 1/2. Obviously I got the left and the right backwards. You can see L. The reason I did that is because I was considering putting them on the inside, put them more inboard. But then the exhaust blowing at each other, it might just sound goofy as hell. You know what I mean? It's open header is gonna sound cool anyways. But I think this might be our best choice. What I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna hit that with a tack weld, hold this pipe there. This is friction fit enough to hang there. Then I can lower the car down to the ground and at least see, because if we got 6 inches, we're probably good. I mean, with them hog ass tires on there, we do have these ladder bars. I mean, I almost would bet you, visually looking at the hoist, obviously them are gonna come up a little bit, but guys, I almost think the ladder bars hang down lower than that. Now, Trailer loading might cause an issue. That's kind of low. So them are things we got to take into consideration, but let me tack weld that and let's set her on the ground and see what we got. Okay, let's see if my tack welds hold. Hopefully. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. So again, we're just trying to get this darn thing on the ground and measure it. I know. All right, let's see what we got here. As we're laying on the ground, you know. 6.5 inches to the ground to that pipe. It's not bad. So let's look. Curiosity here's got me. Check our ladder bar. Because I feel like that ladder bar is hanging lower. Six and a half inches. If the ladder bar is hanging that low, we should be fine. Let's weld it together. So I'm sort of starting to eyeball the other side here. And one of the biggest things, our biggest pet peeves of mine anyways, is when you look down a car and the one pipe's hanging lower than the other. So we're trying to get away from that. And I think they're looking pretty darn good. So I mean, you can see there's a touch below, maybe. I mean, I don't know, guys. That might be a ½ inch, maybe an inch below. And on this side, we're pretty darn close. Now I'm kind of playing with the height, obviously with my stand. There is no tack welds, it's kind of just slip fit. And look at all the room around our clutch. So I mean, all that stuff is going to work great. I'm digging it. I'm going to go ahead and, obviously all we did was just cut that a little bit shorter. I did mark it, kind of just eyeballing from this, because we want to make sure the cutouts are in the same location, you know, so when the dust is moving on the ground, it's in the same spot. So you ask yourself, what about the bunghole? I'll show you. Just right. So, the exhaust is on. Okay, let's give you a rundown. So, you see we got about a 1/4 inch gap there, and it is rigid mounted, okay? That's kind of how they had it before. So, I mean, what are we gonna do, right? This is all rigid mounted. Plus the motor's solid mounted. So, we're good to go. But, I welded it in here, hooked back to their stuff, 2.5, it's all 2.5. Except for there, then it's all 2 1/4 and whatever the hell that is. But I did use one of the band clamps here. So this is serviceable. If someone wanted to take this exhaust off, they could, at least to here, right? I have our LS3 flanges welded on. Pull those 2 bolts, pull this band clamp, and this whole assembly is removable. So that was one of the things. It's always nice to make it serviceable. Don't be the asshole that welds everything solid. All right, guys, don't do it. Because you might be the guy that has to pull a transmission out of it. And you don't want to deal with that. So, this side, same thing. Little gappage. Gonna be mint. We got ourselves another band clamp right there. All the way up. Clears our clutch assembly. Not too bad. that? You guys hear that? Oh, no way. No freaking way. You see what that is? You see what that is? Summit Racing, baby. I love these guys. $30 overnight for what? Why would you spend that, Brian? Well, our junkyard buddy didn't have one of the damn gas pedals we needed. So let's hope that we ordered the right gas pedal. So, if you guys ever need to make a car with mechanical linkage hooked to a carburetor, have a cable, you get yourself a 67 to 69 Chevrolet Camaro for a I keep saying V6. I'm sorry, that was inline 6, my friends. I want to see, you ready? Let's tear the box open like a toddler because that's just what we do. Made in Taiwan, good stuff, you know? Look at that. That's not even Chinese, that's Taiwanese, all right? This is mint. I have been waiting for this damn thing, and it's still plastic, guys. What a piece of shit design. This is garbage. This is plastic. I see Jegs offered a, or not Jegs, see how many saying? Summit offered a metal one of those, but I figured this would come with a metal one. But look what we have now. You pull a cable. Let me grab something quick. Oh yeah, our truck cable. Our truck cable. You ready for this? So we know we're gonna drill a hole in the firewall. We knew that. There is a provision where we think it should be because it looks, you know, like there'd be a hole there. Cable. Put these two together. So the only problem is I noticed our brand new pedal, we gotta modify it because of course we're taking a 2000 something Silverado, you know, throttle cable and putting it on a 68 Camaro with an LS and a four-corner Super T10 electric cutouts, and you know, I mean, it really should have a barefoot gas pedal, I'm just saying. But anywho, we got to cut a little notch in there so our cable can work like the pick-em-up truck, where it just goes and pops in. And if we're really lucky, this little yellow bushing's gonna snap right into like factory. Let's start this thing up though, guys. I'm more excited about that right now because we just did all that hard exhaust work. She is on the ground, my friends. I hooked the battery up. I did. So, right now, the bung is filled. O2 sensors in it, right? Coolant in the engine. Realistically, it should be able to run on its own with an O2 sensor reading. Something else I did, real fast, of course, you know, I got rid of a bunch of crap. So, y'all may remember, there was a whole bunch of unnecessary junk there. We got rid of that. So, take a look at this. And then we can start this rat right up. Whoop! Look at that. Now this gauge ain't hooked up, it's just there. Shifter, you know, clutch works. We just don't have a gas pedal yet, it's coming. You've seen it. FedEx just dropped it off, but let's try it. You ready? Wow. All right. So she's a little loud, but it sounds good. It sounds freaking good. The I got to back the O2 sensor down though, or not O2 sensor. Geez, yeah, I got to back that idle screw down. Now that it's got an O2 sensor, you know, it's, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, I was fiddling around and we had a vacuum leak. All right, let's see if that fixes it. Let's see. All right, ready? Come on, baby. Okay, so that was my assumption. But I think, honestly, what we have going on, like I said earlier, don't mind the exhaust. That's obviously the oil from, you know, my fingers, and they oil them pipes. But let me back that idle screw down a little bit and see if we can get this thing to come down. I really think that is because we didn't have any pipe after the O2, so let's do that real fast. Now remember the little tech tippy thing we talked about before. I flipped the screw from the bottom side to the top side. Now I can adjust it up here. And again, with Holley, you can reset your throttle position. So we're gonna get this idle to come down a little bit. So it should be idling around 900 with the big lumpy dump cam we got in there. So let me see what that does. Let's try it again. Because it should be idling at 1900. Fire and a hole. We found our first problem. The damn heater core started leaking. You can see it running right out. I did shut the car off, but you can see she was flowing a nice little river out, kind of dripping down the heater box there. Oh yeah, nice puddle of antifreeze under it. Other than that, car was running good. So I'm gonna see, I'm gonna get the throttle cable out wrapped up here tonight. We're gonna be off one more day. Just I gotta wait to get a little bypass hose. They have like a little U hose that fits between the inlet and outlet for the heater core. What are you gonna do? Part of the game, right? So if not, I'm trying to figure out a nice way to do that at least, and then we'll go back and assess the heater core at a later date. I talked to my buddy. Probably something we'll do in the fall, you know, when the season's over. So obviously they like to have it, you know, if they get caught in a rainy day or something like that, it'd be nice to be able to defrost the window and stuff like that. So part of the game with this old stuff, friends. Part of the game. So let's get that gas pedal in and we'll let this thing cool down and assess the cooling system. Well, friends, if you ever need to put a gas pedal in your, you know, 68 Camaro, you might want to do it before the motor's in. Because I'll tell you what, folks, that is a tight son of a biscuit. I got the intake off and I made sure all the, you know, ports are plugged. But if you look way down there, there you go, you can see our new piece of plastic and our new clip. Not fun. I got about an hour and, you know, being scolded from, I should have did it before the engine was warmed up. I should have did it before the engine was in it. All those variables. But we do have a gas pedal in the car. So the next step to our cable conversion, and we'll obviously tie up all these wires and random stuff laying around, is we got to find out where that lines up at. It's always one of those nerve-wracking things when you got to bore a hole through a vintage car like this, but somebody else bored one right next to it. Now, if they would have just been over about an inch, it'd have been just fine. Well, friends, we got throttle cable action. Watch this. Dad, go hit the gas. Let's see what happens. She's all hooked up. We got our Vortex cover back on. We still have no heater lines yet, but that's going to be just looped for now. But look at that live action. So we did just basically put some adjustable throttle stops on there because we had to adjust the cable length a little bit, but it worked out phenomenal. So we are in the midst of hood cutting time. A little nerve-wracking. My buddy did say he'd buy a hood if we needed it. We don't need it yet. So here's the thing. We're justifying the hood hitting about here. Now, we did figure out, with no cover on it, I did take the purge valve out, hood shuts, okay? So that was the only spot. So we could not run the Vortex cover, and it does fit. But we're trying to keep it aesthetically somewhat appealing, you know. So we're going to run the saw up here, the grinder actually. I'm going to get into this here, come up to about here to this hood spur, because I'd like to leave a majority of this here. And that way, we'll get some room. Let's get to cutting. Now, you didn't just think we were going to take a hatchet to it. I mean, there is some sort of preparation. Of course, we're going to grab our square and just kind of eyeball a measurement here. about there. Just to give us some sort of line to cut on, right? And then we're gonna drill so we can round our corners. Now, of course, we covered our new engine because we do care. So, this is where it gets a little more nerve-wracking. All right, let's go for it. All right, friends, let's see if we got her. 2 layers we were going for. There's 1 layer. There it is. Okay. All right. So we got his goofy contraption. Hey, it was red. Vintage. Now, by all means, friends, we're going to clean that up, but I want to see if it's going to fit. We did cut a shit ton out, but we didn't hit the hood. So, well, we hit the hood, just not the top of the hood where it matters, okay? Because there's this. So, moment of truth. And we're going to go ahead and touch this up with some satin black, too. By all means, guys, we're going to take care of that stuff. I'm thinking we'll just flap disc it a little bit with a roll lock, polish it a little bit, and it'll be great. So, did we gain enough hood clearance? Let me know in the comments below. Let's find out. I mean, I cut it wide enough. It's more if we can get the Vortex thing to fit. You got it. What do you think, Dad? I think it went.
Oh, yeah, it went.
Nice, guys. I'm excited. I was worried about that. I've been sweating that and sweating that the whole freaking day. And that's a wrap for the hood. So, you know what that means. Now we put hood pins in it and drive it. It's going to be exciting. So, hopefully, we'll get our heater bypass hose tomorrow and then off to Rusty's for super tuning. Oh, we got to hook up our cutouts. That's right. That's right. We might do that after the tune thing. We'll figure that out, though. But we'll see you in the morning. Well, friends, heater core fixed. Well, kind of. We did the old loop trick. They sell a hose that is just a U, and it's 3 1/4 on one end and 5/8 on the other. And then you're asking, Brian, where's the steam port now since, you know, you had it in the heater hose? Well, another solution for you guys. Works just fine and dandy. If you drill and tap your water pump to an 1/8 inch NPT and run a 1/4 inch barb there, that works out well. So basically, we're just dumping the steam port into the top of the water pump, so we don't have to deal with the heater hose thing. Either way works. Everybody has their opinions on that, so do as you wish. But I did get something extra done here, guys. We got, obviously, throttle cable action, but check this out. Key on, okay. Okay, watch this. You ready? Let's see if I can get you a good shot. How freaking sweet is that? Cutouts are hooked up. Now this car is quite loud. I think it's time to turn the blinker off, but I think it's actually time to maybe drive this thing out of here. I'm kind of nervous because we haven't really checked the clutch. Now it should work because we spent the time to obviously adjust it and do all that fancy stuff and research what we're doing, and you know. So you guys ready to see if it moves? I am. Let's see what happens. All right, friends, first test drive. Let's see if the clutch works. Reverse. Oh, that's definitely first. It's working, guys. Hell yeah. All right, guys, we're doing this together. Let's give it a shot. Hell yeah. Still got to work on that oil pressure, but she's moving, guys. It's your boy's first time driving a 68 Camaro. I'm pretty freaking excited. Now, obviously, Rusty's going to give her the super tuning, but clutch is working phenomenal. working. Not sure about the gas gauge yet. I don't know if that works or not, but that was about on E when I dumped her for that new pump. You gotta love these freaking Hollies though. They're about dialed plugging them in. Obviously we're gonna, you know, but son of a bitch. A car that hasn't ran in years and now we're back on the streets.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Just before we leave, we figured we'd throw this in there for you. Had my wife make me a lovely little sticker. Now, for you guys know that, yeah, I'm an LS guy, right? So we figured we'd toss that on there just to throw a few of you off.